How's it going, everybody? Destauch here, and today I just wanted to do a little video on the story direction for Halo Infinite because it has me a little bit worried. Now, there's no direct evidence of the story being bad, but let me ask you something. Has a games of service game ever had a good plot? Has Anthem ever had a good plot? Has Destiny? Well, Destiny did eventually get a decent plot, but it took a long time to get there. The point is that these long-term games typically have a pretty two-dimensional and not very convincing plot. Even Destiny 2, to an extent, I thought that plot was fine, but it doesn't do anything crazy, and that's the thing I'm disappointed by. I think that Halo Infinite will be a decent plot. I think it'll have a good story, a good, full arc for Master Chief, probably. I think that the pilot will probably be interesting, but you gotta ask yourself, how good are they gonna let the story be if they're gonna have to draw this out for like 10 years? And that's what I just wanted to sit back, relax a little bit, and just talk about today. So I'm just gonna have a sip of water before I get caught in the mouth. Oh, that's some good tap. But anyways, let's get into this. So my concerns are that Halo Infinite's plot just won't be that interesting just because of its games of service title. Now, I don't think they've ever called it a games of service, but you got a 10-year plan, you got your setup for that kind of thing. So I'm just hoping that Halo Infinite's plot is good, and I think it really deserves to be. I think that I don't want to, be a Sony fanboy or anything, but I feel like Sony has done, or specifically PlayStation, has done a really good job at making really interesting stories for their games. If you look at Uncharted, you look at The Last of Us, even The Last of Us Part 2, at least it tried, I think. I know a lot of people don't like that game. Ghost of Tsushima, all of these games, they always have these really interesting plots, and I just hope and wish that Halo Infinite can have a plot like that, like God of War. That was like my first thing that came to my head. I don't even know why I'm just bringing it up now, but like God of War is a perfect parallel to Halo Infinite. I feel like God of War took God of War to new heights in terms of plot. Now, I know the old games, people will say, oh, those games had plot too, but I'm talking about a really emotional, heart-wrenching plot. There are moments like that in God of War 1, 2, and 3 a little bit. I mean, to be fair, I haven't played that much of those games, but it took it to places that really, gave you, it made you choke up. And I just don't see Halo Infinite doing that. I don't, because of the way that this game looks to me. I feel like it's going to be a game that presents missions and objectives, but I just don't know if it can effectively make Master Chief like a really relatable hero. I think Halo 4 did a great job, and I would love for it to go back to Halo 4. And I just hope that this game can deliver on, the emotional highs and, the lows of a good story. And I think Halo deserves that. I think that Halo has always never really reached its full potential in terms of storytelling. I think that the original trilogy is, amazing, but I think something that a lot of people can agree on is that those games are event-driven, and they don't really focus on character. Now, Halo 4 attempted that, but it was very short, it was short-lived, and we didn't really get any of that fleshed out. And I just want a return to that. I want a more fleshed out story involving Master Chief, involving the pilot, involving maybe Cortana, and I want to have moments that people remember. I mean, even games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, it had great moments. You look at when, spoiler alert, when Ghost and Roach died, it's like, yeah, that really hit me when I was a kid, and I'm just hoping that Halo Infinite can deliver on that. I hope it takes risks in terms of the plot, is what I'm trying to say. I hope that it doesn't play it safe. I hope it's not like Destiny, where everything is kind of the same in the end. Like, there's no progression. I want this story to affect Chief. I want it to affect the universe, which I think it will. But I really just want to see that type of story development in Halo. I think that Halo 2 as well, I think The Arbiter is a great example of the progression of a character. Halo 2, the Covenant perspective of that game gave a whole new breadth to the universe. And it wasn't like it introduced some, mind-boggling twist. All it did was show a deeper side to the Covenant. And it completely changed the way the universe developed after that. And that's what I'm saying for Halo Infinite. We don't need to have Mendicant Bias come back. We don't need all these grandiose things to happen. It'd be cool. But I think what we really need to do is flesh out these stories. I mean, look at Star Wars, specifically the original trilogy. A New Hope was good. It was pretty basic, though. And Empire Strikes Back came back, and it really fleshed out those characters. It made Darth Vader a three-dimensional villain. It made Luke Skywalker more interesting. Han and Leia's relationship, it, boosted that by like 1,000. And it completely changed the way Star Wars developed. And I think that games are at a point where we're not going to see massive gameplay changes. People complain, oh, Halo Infinite, it looks like the same as every other Halo game. But really, what else can Halo do at this point? I mean, it's going open world. It's introducing new gameplay mechanics that thankfully don't seem to be as egregious as Halo 5's mechanics. But I think now, in the time period that we're in for gaming, I think that stories are really what will push franchises forward, and to have those memorable moments that stick with us for a long time. But anyways, this was kind of like a random video of me just spewing out my thoughts on Halo's story. I just really hope Halo Infinite delivers on that, and I don't see enough people talking about that. I see people talking about events, armor, gameplay, but to me, a good story can really make a good game great. Even in Halo 4's case, Halo 4 was by no means a great game, but it was certainly elevated by the plot, and that's why people look back at it more favorably than other games in the series, specifically in 343's series of games. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. Do you think that the plot matters in Halo Infinite, or do you think it can be an event-driven plot like it typically is, and it can still be effective? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And anyways, remember, if you liked the video, please like it, and if you really liked it, try subscribing. This was a Destauch, and I'll see you in the next one. Destauch out.